next to you, Starstruck. In Adrienette alternate universe Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction, chapter 6. Hello? Marinette says awkwardly. The red-haired woman at the table seems much friendlier than her companion. Adrienne grins at her from the head of the table and motions for her to take a seat. She does, and it is awkward. I'm Marinette. She tries to diffuse the air. Tiki Kwam, this is my husband, Plag, the woman says, bringing a hand up for her to shake. I spoke to you on the phone? Marinette nods. Yes, thank you so much for helping us with this. Of course, Tiki says, folding her hands back into her lap. Now, I believe it would be best to start with a public couple appearance. Nothing too outlandish, though we mustn't make you seem too comfortable, she starts. Have something akin to a small outing, walk around a park, museum day, go for a movie, make it seem new, a little awkward, foreign, even. We need to make sure that the rumors that Adrienne left the company for a girlfriend is completely diminished. It'll be harder to use that argument against you. His eyes flicker to her and back to Adrienne. If it's clear that you are only starting to go out, Plag states. His voice is harsh, but his words were very clearly carefully thought throughout. He is right. The floating rumors of her breaking up the Agreste family needed to be ended immediately, especially if she wanted to leave the house with little to no hate. Having a first date-like-esque appearance would be the perfect idea. He left his father's company months ago. That was old news. They really did have to make it clear that she only just now entered the picture. Yes, Tiki nods in agreement. Dress nicely, but casual, slightly undercover even. Sunglasses, hat, scarf for Adrienne might be good. Do make sure that you attract a little attention, ideally from a younger fan. That demographic will be more sympathetic to you and less likely to squeal to the media if anything goes wrong, Tiki continues. Marinette and Adrienne nod. How about a coffee shop date? Would that work? One that is more on the small side of town? Marinette inquires. Tiki smiles. I think that would be a wonderful idea. It will seem more genuine than some date at a lavish restaurant. Also, it'll be more of your comfort level, I presume? Tiki eyes her. Marinette affirms the notations. She already had a place in mind. It would be less nerve-wracking for her to be in a familiar terrain. Wonderful. This is a lot to deal with. We will try and help you with the transition on the way as much as possible, Tiki says kindly. Marinette smiles at her appreciatively. Okay, so coffee date, dressed a little like I'm going under the weather, and Adrienne lists off. Enjoy yourselves, Plag states. It won't look real if you don't look comfortable. It can't look staged. Don't make it look staged. Ask each other real questions. Have real conversations, he instructs. Got it. Wonderful. Now, we will have that date set up. Pick a good time within the next 2 weeks. Now, interviews? We don't want to make it seem too soon or else it'll look too rushed. But if we make it too late, people can create and cement a mental picture of her. Tiki looks to her husband and it's as if they could read each other's minds. 6 weeks, max, Plag says decidedly. In that time, they can have A few more dates and catch up with on each other's quirks, make them seem smoother on camera. And while talking about their shared life, it will also look more real that way. No one wants to have their relationship shoved in their face with waves of questions about it. 6 weeks will make it seem like they pushed it back as long as they could, he explains. Tiki nods in agreement. Marinette noted how the couple worked. It was very well put together, and they seemed to genuinely want the best image for her and Adrian. She wonders if any other PR managers were like this, or if they were more phony and fake. Do I have to watch my social media from now on, or anything like that? Marinette asked nervously. Tiki shakes her head. No, don't worry about that. You're just a normal woman living a normal life. We don't want to take that away from you. Marinette has no idea if she means it in a reputation sense or a real life standpoint, but it seems to be the latter. Don't feel pressure to be a quote-unquote real celebrity consort. We're here to get you out of this situation, not build you for the role. Keep doing everything you do now. Don't worry so hard about what you may or may not look like. All right, Marinette says nervously. Her eyes flicker to Adrian, and much unlike her, he looks calm. She can only guess it's from the lifetime of dealing with PR managers and the public that makes him immune to all this planning. And the interview in 6 weeks, she asks. Yes, Tiki confirms. Which we must make a list for. She sees Marinette's bemused expression. List of avoided topics, she explains. We don't want you getting coerced and diverging into anything you don't want totally public and up for grabs. Basic topics like home address, work address, family names, close family friends' names, past relationships, and any currently pressing health concerns, Tiki says. We will work on the home address thing, but are there any other topics that you would like to add? I'm not sure. I can't think of anything. Anything really awful, that is. Not, anything that isn't untrue. Marinette says nervously. Tiki nods. That's perfectly fine. Just let us know when you think of anything. But right now, I'm gonna do a mini interview with you. You'll want to learn how to dodge topics under pressure and people's stares. They will all be looking to you for answers to your most personal and private questions in life. You will need to be ready for them. Marinette looks at Adrian, and he sends her a look of encouragement. Tiki wordlessly asks if she's ready, and Marinette nods. Hopefully, it would not be a total panic disaster on her part. Marinette, right? Tell me, what is your full name? Marinette Dupan Chang. You're half Asian? Chinese, yes. I'm rather proud of it as well. My culture, it has shaped me to be the person that I am today, Marinette says. Black flashes a smile at her. She must have been doing something right for him to do that. Are your parents the owners of Dupan Chang Bakery? Marinette swallows but nods. Yes, they've been running it since I was a little girl. That sounds like a lot of work. Was it hard growing up that way? She's shell-shocked for a moment. What sort of question is that? Then Marinette realizes that it's one that Lila Rossi would ask. It's a question to purposely antagonize her. Her lips tighten in determination. Not in the slightest, she says cheerfully, much to Tiki's very clear approval. Working in the bakery. See, my parents work in the bakery. It's taught me hard work and appreciation for all sorts of jobs. And it was a way to be close to my parents, helping them in the bakery and taking shifts. I love having a family business. I felt like I was really helping my parents in doing my part in Paris. A lot of people came, and I got to see how happy everyone was to finally try my father's baked goods, Marinette says. She's proud of the diversion she improvised. Tiki leans in with a serious look. Would you say that Adrien's appearance is his best trait? He is a model after all. There's no doubt in her mind that this is a Lila question. Marinette will certainly be tested for shallowness and vapid qualities. Marinette looks her right in the eye, not daring down a stare. No, her voice is firm, and Tiki smiles. His heart is his best quality, I'd say. He holds a lot of love, and that is what shines through the most. Tiki leans back and folds her hands back in her lap. Marinette has clearly passed the first test interview with flying colors. Adrien is grinning at her with a megawatt smile, and Marinette feels that the compliment meant more to him than she even realized while saying it. I'd say she passed, Plag drawls. Very much so, Tiki agrees. You did great, Adrien compliments. Marinette blushes. Thank you. I just, practice from being in student council and stuff, she says, rubbing her face with her hands. Tiki checks her watch and stands up. Plag follows her lead. All right, we have done very well here, Marinette. Don't worry so much about what lies ahead. You are faring very well. Adrien, let us know when to set up the interviews. And please pick a time to have your date. Good luck, you two. This should all be fixed in less than a year. With that, Tiki and Plag promptly leave the apartment. Well, that went well, Adrien says with a smile. Marinette can't help but agree. So, what time are you free? He asks. I'll be free on Tuesday. Are you? Adrien nods. Great. I'll text you the address of the coffee shop. I can't wait to see you there. It doesn't totally hit Marinette that she's technically going out on a date with Adrien Agreste until she's waiting at the coffee house with a text from him on her phone saying that he'll be there in less than 2 minutes. It is then that the hyperventilation kicks in. Hey, sorry to keep you waiting. She turns around when she hears the familiar voice, and there he is. Adrien Agreste, walking towards her in oversized sunglasses, the very ones he wore when they first met, in a big blue scarf she'd lent him. Hello, Marinette says with a slightly awkward smile. Adrien slips into the seat in front of her and takes a sip of the coffee in front of him. He had sent her his order much to her request. You look familiar with those, she jokes, pointing to the glasses. Oh, really? He says quizzically. The blonde takes his glasses off for a second to inspect them, and then in a flash they're back on his face. It's the ones I had on when I first met you, the day we moved into our apartments, he laughs. Marinette marvels at his recollection. Yeah, she says shyly, playing with the stir stick in the cup placed in her hands. I called you Mr. Cat for the first month, she admits. Adrien's brow raises. Really? He asks incredulously. Why? Marinette shrugs, trying for offhandedly. You were wearing a cat beanie that pretty much covered your entire head the first time I met you. Oh, they match well with those, I'd say. She giggles at the glasses. A fun smile appears on Adrien's features, or at least the ones that she could see of. Oh, I guess that does make sense. Darn, I should have called you Macaroons then. Too bad you're stuck with Ladybug now, he laughs. Marinette's face twists as she giggles. No, I think I like Ladybug better than macaroons. I make them. That would feel a bit like cannibalism, she laughs. That's a fair point, Adrienne admits. They continue to chat, and it's nice. It's a bit tense. They're both well aware of the quiet gapes and secret photos being taken of them, but just talking to each other, it makes it all a little less frightening. It feels awkward, which is perfect reality. Goodness, you have such perseverance, Adrienne chuckles after she told him how long it took for her to finally figure out how to bake the perfect baguette. Yeah, but I was really mad about it for a while. I didn't get how my dad could make one so easily, and I couldn't. My 10-year-old mind just couldn't figure it out why a master baker with years of experience couldn't do it, but I could not, Marinette jokes. But now you make bread unlike anyone else. Seriously, it's so good, Adrienne compliments her. Marinette flushes. Thanks, she says, tucking a piece of hair behind her ears. Adrienne nods and adjusts his scarf slightly. The movement causes the printed ladybug on it to be visible, and clearly it catches his eyes. He moves it, tracing over the print with his finger. Wow. His voice is barely a whisper. Marinette squeezes herself tightly, nervous for any critiques he may have. Wow, he repeats. Is he gonna say it's awful? Be shocked and angry she'd given him a DIY scarf? Did you make this? It looks like the ladybug on your dress from a few days ago, he asks. The silent that day the picture was taken and this entire mess was started hung in the air between them. Marinette nods. Yeah, she squeaks out. It looks so good, he breathes out with a smile. It's really well made. Maybe you should consider making clothes for a living. You've got a talent, Adrienne says. His smile is small but sweet, and it looks genuine. Marinette feels her heart swell with pride and cheeks heat up. I had a shop back in high school, but I don't really do it much anymore, she admits. That's a shame, Adrienne says honestly. You'd rival my father, he says. It doesn't seem to be a malice jab, just a genuine compliment. I doubt it, Marinette laughs. But thank you. He smiles at her sweetly. Really, you have a lot of talents. What can't you do? He asks, leaning forward in interest. Marinette is about to blubber out a response when she feels a tap on her shoulder. Adrienne's face tenses, and when she turns around, she knows why. There's a young girl, maybe aged 13, 14, who's shyly looking up at her. Marinette swallows but puts on a kind smile anyways. Here it is, the part she had been dreading for but was inevitable. Hey, are you? She looks at Adrienne and then around. And then the girl leans in and puts her hands around her mouth, clearly trying to be secretive. Are you Adrienne Agrestin's girlfriend? She whispers. Marinette looks at her and smiles, though her insides are totally shaking. Yeah, I'm Marinette. What's your name? She says. The girl's face breaks out in a huge smile. Manon, she says proudly. I saw the scarf and the ladybug on it and recognize it, she explains. She leans in again. How long have you actually been dating, though? Her voice is curious, but genuine. The media says it's been half a year, but I don't know if I believe them. That sentence is the one that makes Marinette decide that she rather likes this girl. She questions what the media is telling her, and is being rather polite about it all. Marinette gives her a bright smile. Certainly not that long, she says with a light laugh. We've only been on 2 dates before this, Adrienne supplies, and Marinette nods in agreement. Oh yes, Manon grins. I knew it! All of my friends didn't believe me, and now I have proof, she says happily. Can I take a picture with you? Her excitement is sweet, and there is zero reason to say no to this girl. Of course, Marinette welcomes. Manon reaches for her phone and allows Marinette and Adrienne to lean into the frame. Her grin is big, and she only takes a handful of pictures. Thank you, Manon says. You're really nice, she comments. Marinette smiles warmly at her, and Adrienne seems to have gotten happier. She's wonderful, he proclaims. Marinette's cheeks blush red, and Manon giggles. Couldn't have asked for a better girlfriend. Adrienne leans over and presses a soft kiss on Marinette's cheek. Her face is on fire, and in the best way. She feels giddy and nervous and appreciated all in one. That is so cute, Manon comments, and Marinette shyly agrees. Adrienne laughs a bit at her flamed cheeks. Thank you and bye, Manon says before she's walking away. It's a quiet goodbye, and no one else is behind her. She didn't make a scene or cause a commotion, something that they both definitely appreciate. She's rather sweet, Adrienne comments, watching the girl leaving the coffee house. Marinette nods wordlessly. I've come across a lot of people that are not that casual about it. Marinette doesn't doubt him. Adrienne turns back to look at her with a curious look on his face. Sorry, what were we talking about before? He asks her. I forgot. Marinette shrugs. Oh, I don't think I remember. She chuckles. Ah, me too, Adrienne agrees. In reality, Marinette could just vaguely remember what they were talking about before. Something about her hobbies, or his hobbies and skills, or whatever. But she's currently feeling a bit preoccupied. Her cheek is still tingling from where he kissed it, and she's not sure if it's the greatest feeling in the world or not.